You yourself, dear son, would have been a knight, had it pleased the Lord God to spare your father and brothers. There was no knight in all the isles of the sea who was of such great merit as was your father. But after the death of Uther Pendragon, who was father of good King Arthur, chaos reigned, as arrogant, ruthless men vied for power they did not deserve, while noble men were brought low in battle, and the country became a wasteland.
I will need these javelins, until I get a hold of some of that armor at any rate.
Some say that there is a way, if the Grail can be found again, to restore this wasteland. That if a knight can find out whom the Grail serves, the wounded king could be healed. For they say the Wasteland Kingdom, with all its troubles, is only a reflection of its king's wound.
Oh, I haven't eaten all day. I wonder what's for dinner.
But these are old stories and distant hopes. Your father took refuge here in this wild forest when you were just a tot, and your two brothers, who were so handsome, went off to royal courts to obtain their arms and horses. On one and the same day they were dubbed knights and set out to return home. But they were both killed in combat on the way. Your father died of grief, and since his death I have lived a life of great bitterness. You were all the comfort I had remaining.
Mother, I'm sorry about father and my brothers. That's terrible. But what can I do about it? And it all seems so long ago. All I know is that I want to find the king who makes knights more than anything. And Mother, I'm starving. Is there anything to eat?
What can I do? He doesn't hear a word I say. Nowadays, we have a way to understand all this, and a terminology to match. In olden days, we were the storytellers, the soothsayers. In the modern world, we are therapists. Have a seat. Let me just get the file. Now, try taking a deep breath. He's going to go off and become a knight, and he'll end up dead, just like the rest of them. PTSD. What's that? Post-traumatic stress disorder. What's that? It creeps up on you before you realize what's happening, and suddenly you feel overwhelmed, and the slightest thing can defeat you. I don't think losing my husband and our two eldest sons and half our fortune can be considered slight. Your son stays out a little longer than normal. He expresses what right now for him is developmentally appropriate ambition, and it can set it off. Oh yes, it's all very understandable. But he's going to get himself killed! You see, the issue is yourself, not your son. We cannot live through our children. We have to let them go. Oh yes, Mrs. Morgana. And how's that working out for you? Me? Well, we all make mistakes. Mordred didn't turn out quite the way I'd hoped. Remember, dear son, speak with worthy men and keep their company. A worthy man never gives bad advice.
By my faith, I will, Mother.
And should you find any lady in need of help or maiden in distress, be prepared to help them if they ask you, for that is a matter of the highest honor.
I will, Mother.
Dear son, may God lead you, and wherever you go, may he grant you more joy than there remains for me. Percival rides out on his way. Glancing back, he sees his mother has collapsed again in a faint, and spurs his horse on even faster. After many miles, Percival sees a charcoal burner approaching, carrying his wood and spade.
My good man, tell me, which is the most direct way to Carlisle? I've heard that King Arthur makes knights there.
Young man, in this direction lies Carlisle. Aye, but troubling times they are. For King Arthur and his whole court have been plagued by a fearsome knight, whom no one has been able to overcome. He is known as the Red Knight from the forest of Conqueror, on account of his bright crimson armor.
But Percival has stopped listening, and would not have given a penny for the charcoal burner's information, except he does take the road the kindly man pointed out. and eventually comes upon the fine castle of Carlisle, built upon the rocky Cumbrian coastline. Now don't start wondering about Camelot. Was it Carlisle? Was it Camelford? Was it Cadbury? Was it Caerleon? Camelot is everywhere, as long as it begins with a C. Everyone wants to be linked to a legend. Many monarchs claimed a bloodline to Arthur for the same reason. And it was also the custom in earlier times for the sovereign to set up court in different centres to keep an eye on the populace.